Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope everybody is very well indeed. I'm sat in a park just outside Paris, opposite my flat, and still here. Going to be here for a few more days. We're supposed to come back for the game against Bournemouth tomorrow, but it's a long trek, and my wife wants to get her hair done. I don't think the two are massively related, but I'm going to delay my return till Friday when there's no game to look forward to, and I've got no massive commitments, no massive broadcast commitments. There'll be a lot of stuff going on for Arsenal anyway, and so this week's going to be busy as well. But I'm here, guys, to talk about Pep's press conference for the game against Bournemouth tomorrow night. And to be honest, there wasn't really that much talk about Bournemouth that I noticed in the press conference. Hi, Andrew. Hope you're well, mate. There was more talk, obviously, about the CAS hearing and the verdict. And I'm also going to give you a bit more about some saltiness from Klopp, from Jose, and some stuff from Eddie Howe, because there's not a lot about the game from Pep himself. Umar Abdulrahman, hi, how you doing? Klopp is very funny. Akash, Pep told Klopp and Mourinho to shut up. Absolutely. I told a lot of people, Senor Tebas and others, as it happened. Well, the press conference, yeah, it's happened. It's happened already. Long gone. Okuchi, Abderrahim, salam to you, mate. Hello, Danny. Right. Without further ado, let's do a preamble with some stuff from Eddie Howe and some stuff from Klopp, some stuff maybe from Jose. So Eddie Howe, look, Bournemouth have been on a terrible, terrible run, but they just slapped Leicester 4-1. So they've got this chance to escape. He said, this is what Eddie Howe said, Manchester City is a very different game to any other you face in the Premier League. They've got some unique some unique qualities, an outstanding manager, brilliant players. It's a huge task at hand, but I believe it's possible. If we can put it all together, we're more than capable of getting a result. Klopp, what's he been saying? Klopp said about the ban being overturned, he said, from a personal point of view, I'm happy that City can play Champions League next year, because if I think about the league, if City had 10 to 12 games less, I don't think anybody has a chance. Klopp said, I don't think it was a good day for football yesterday, to be honest. FFP is a good idea. It is there for protecting teams in the competition so that nobody overspends and have to make sure the money they want to spend is based on the right sources. He also said, I'm from Germany. We have a club base. It's not an owner one. You have to get your license every year. FFP is a good idea, but it's not up to me to judge it, the decision. I just think we should all stick to FFP rules. I really hope it stays. It gives some borders. Klopp can do one. Okay. Let's talk about the main man. Let's talk about Arteta, because I read what he said about this as well. This is a classy response from Arteta. He said, there is no question about what happened. They completely deserve to be in the Champions League because what they've done on the pitch is unquestionable. And the regulators have looked at it and have decided that they haven't done anything wrong. So you have the two aspects that are really clear and transparent, and they're going to be in the Champions League because they deserve it, what they do on the pitch and what they do outside of the pitch. Anyway, easy start to the press conference. His reaction to CAS. Pep said, I'm incredibly happy for the decision. It shows everything that people said about the club was not true. We will defend on the pitch what we won on the pitch. This is what he said about Mourinho and Klopp, about them speaking out. He said, we should be apologised to, because if we did something wrong, we will accept the decision from UEFA because we did something wrong. But we don't expect Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea or Wolves to defend us. But we have the right to defend ourselves. And we believe what we have done is correct. And 3 independent judges said this. Today's a good day. Yesterday was a good day for football because we play by the same rules as all the clubs in Europe. If we had broken FFP, we would have been banned. But we have to defend ourselves because we were right. People said we were cheating and lying and the presumption of innocence was not there. When we were proved right, we were incredibly happy because we can defend what we have done on the pitch. Is Pep resigned to always having to defend the club? He said, it would be nice, but I don't think so. What happened in recent years, how many times people came to our club to whisper, I would love it to finish and go to the pitch and play on the pitch. And after it, if they beat us, don't hesitate. We will congratulate them. But they lost off the pitch. They have to go on the pitch and try to beat us. I said many times here, if we did something wrong, we will accept our ban from FIFA, UEFA, Premier League, FA. We are here. But we can defend ourselves. And yesterday was a great day for football. Not a bad day for football because it showed we played by the same rules that all the elite clubs play by. We can play in the Champions League next season because what we have done is right. They have to accept it, go on the pitch and play against us. He's really sticking it in. Now, the question is, would he stay beyond 2021? Pep said, my opinion hasn't changed. Maybe I would be able to stay here longer, but people cannot understand how difficult it was for everyone as a club being under suspicion. Now we have proven it at the court. We go again on the pitch. He said, now is not the time. We have 1 month in front of us. 1 year for a manager is a long, long time. And the decisions we thought to do before the sentence, it was quite similar now. I was happy before and now. We have time to talk about this. Not really giving any commitment one way or the other. You'd expect that anyway. Summer plans. Pep says they're normal. Now is a normal situation like every season. If we were banned and the situation was uncertain, I don't know what would have happened. My personal situation was clear. I would have stayed here, but we have an incredible 4 or 5 weeks ahead of us now. And if we are good enough to beat Arsenal, we have the FA Cup, and then we have time to think about it. More about Cass and other organizations, clubs, people, what they're saying. Senor Tebas. And what a sloth he is. Anyway, I think I wanted to say something else, and I changed at the last minute. That's what Pep says. He's another one, Senor Tebas. Must be so jealous of English football. He's an incredible legal expert from what I say. Maybe next time I'll ask them which court and judges we have to go to. He has to be worried and concerned about La Liga and focus on there. But normally when the sentence is good for him, it is perfect. But when it is against, the problem is for the other ones. We will be in the Champions League next season, Senor Tebas, because what we did it properly. And Tebas was whinging on and saying maybe Cass isn't the right body to take disputes to. You bet your bottom dollar. If Cass had found against City, Senor Tebas would have been lauding Cass. And suddenly, because the decision's gone away from him, he wants to slag them off and say, I will complain about them just because he didn't get the right decision. And as Pep said, an independent panel, 3 independent judges. Talking about respect. Pep said the club tried for the whole history at Main Road or with heroes like Colin Bell or Mike Summerby, the legends that we have had. We have done our best to do it on the pitch. I know that for elite clubs like Liverpool, United, Arsenal, it is uncomfortable us being here, but they have to understand we deserve to be with them and fighting for the achievements that they have achieved in the past. We deserve to be stronger year by year. There are incredible people in this organization working to make us better. We don't have to ask permission to be there. We deserve to be there. When we lose, I will shake my hands and congratulate them. But all the time we have done, guys, accept it. We want to be here and we tried. Sometimes we win, sometimes not, but they have to understand it. Don't whisper and go behind our backs. Do it on the pitch. That's, look, a lot of clubs went to CAS or to UEFA trying to make sure City were banned. I mean, how despicable are they? Talking about second place in the league, Pep's talking about doing his talking on the pitch. Yeah, like we have done every game in every competition in the last 3 or 4 years. People cannot forget we were damaged. Our reputation was damaged with accusations that show they were not true. That's why they have to be both happy or at least accept, because we should complain and we don't. So the other ones shouldn't say much more than this. It's just on and on about this. That's the first part of the press conference. The rest of the information is embargoed, so we won't be hearing anything about that until 10:30 tonight. He wants his apology, and I hope he gets one. So that's pretty much it. That's what you guys are been gassing about. Right, let's go all the way up. Mr. Peanut, fingers crossed Pep extends. Yeah, I would like him to. All the Salter fans keep saying bad day for football. There's no bad day. This wasn't really about FFP. It was about procedure. Okay, accounting stuff, not FFP per se. And I wish somebody takes FFP on. Pep will stay for another 10 years. I don't think so, Akash. Yep, Akash, he was. Gary Neville was appointed from the start. That was where it's going. 140 million on Coutinho. Yeah, that's one of the reasons for Liverpool's success. You know, they had a lot of money to spend, and it was how can you spend 140 million on Coutinho? I can't believe that. Akash, the thing with the PSG was procedurally they did things wrong, but I think you could argue people felt at the time they deliberately did things wrong procedurally. Hi Chris, hope you well. Ikram, hope you well, buddy. Shipman, Mansour and Caldino legend says Mohammed Yunus. Salam to you, Mohammed. Ikram, Chris, so many opposition fans saying City are still not innocent. Let them be bitter, let them be salty. Still alive here, says Danny Mansour Khaldoon. People think City before the money was fighting relegation, something we was on the up since our promotion to the Premier League up until 2008. We were finished top half of the table a few times, and actually in the 2000s we were in the top 20 in Europe in terms of turnover. I think we were about 16, 17, 18th. I'm trying to remember back. Definitely no worse than a 17th. So, you know, within a few years before the takeover, we were still one of the top 20 earning teams in Europe. Now we're 5th or 6th. You know, we're only a little bit higher up the table, but we're in the top 20 already. Yeah, Chris, look, we've not spent more than 60 million quid on a player, and PSG getting at 200 million on Neymar. And I think Mbappe was probably nearer to 200 million at the end of the day. QC David Panic smashed him. Absolutely, buddy. I have a lot of respect for Gary Neville. He has been so unbiased from the beginning on this case, says Ikram. Yeah. And we've been lucky to have people like, you know, there's not many. That's the sad thing. There's not many objective people out there. You've got so many people lining up to have a pop at City. Absolutely lining up to have a pop at City. And now the decision has gone against what those pundits, commentators, journalists wanted and were saying. Some of them are just shut up, disappeared, become very quiet, not said anything, disappeared off Twitter for a while. And others are still trying to blame. You know, I've seen Duncan Castles, Ewan McKenna having a pop at City for the €10 million fine. That's peanuts, guys. And besides it's being peanuts, it's not really for FFP per se. It's for that particular. Oh, got wasp here. It's for that particular investigation from UEFA, and where it said City didn't cooperate fully. Look, City could end up challenging that. I don't think they will. I think they'll let it go. I don't think UEFA are going to make a challenge because they've lost enough money on lawyers already for this CAS hearing and wasted a lot of time investigating City at the behest of other clubs who are pushing for it. And they've gone down this route knowing that their systems are flawed, knowing that there's a time bar as well that's going to affect some of the decisions that are made, and knowing that CAS, the City would have a very strong case at CAS, but UEFA went down that path because they were pressurised, I believe, by other clubs, by La Liga, by Señor Tebas, to go down that path. They've gone down that path and they've lost. They've got the bottom spanked, and I think they'll leave City alone for now. They won't be pushing this any further. They'd be stupid too. Chris is going 5-1 to City. Dennis going 4-0. Well, hopefully I will be doing a stream tonight with a Bournemouth fan. So that'll be between 8 and 9 o'clock UK time. Haven't decided yet. So we'll be doing that tonight and we can do our predictions. Hey, Chris, how you doing, mate? Absolutely, Umar Abdurrahman. But the thing is, you get some commentators and pundits and journalists, they're doubling down. They're still having a go. And if you saw, I tweeted a video that Jason Singling had done. I think that's his name, Jason Singling. Certainly Jason. And he did a video mainly in response to Terry Flewers, I think, from the Football Terrace. It's mainly in response to him. And I've got to be honest, I was laughing a lot at that video. I was laughing a lot. You know, the things he says, I mean, it is comedy, guys. It's fun stuff, the way he has a go at Terry. And then he talks about what Stephen said and a little bit about my video from yesterday evening. But mostly, if you want laughs, it's the first 20 minutes or so where he talks about Terry, plays his video and calls him all sorts. So please check my Twitter out for that if you want to see that. Ikram, yeah, a lot of people just follow the false narrative and jump on the bandwagon. Hi, Cameron Dempsey, not seen you for a while. You never sing that Champions of Cast UEFA. You'll never sing that, absolutely. We know what we are, champions of CAS. Ikram, because some evidence was time bad, do you think that could mean there's evidence from over 5 years that proves we might have been in the wrong? That's what someone's saying. Look, I mean, I've not read the CAS verdict, but let's just think about it. If CAS say, oh, okay, you've got this case, okay, and there is a time bar. Would CAS spend their time investigating the stuff that is inadmissible? If you've got inadmissible evidence, whether it's right or wrong, proven, could be proven or not proven, would CAS waste their time in listening it? Sorry, that stuff is time bad. Why waste our time? It's inadmissible. We can't look at it. We can't act upon it. What we can say is it's time bad. So why would CAS waste their time? Why would anybody waste their time going through this hearing about stuff that is inadmissible? So if it's just, I'm trying to think of a parallel. If you're in court and there's inadmissible evidence, can you use it? You can't use hearsay or whatever. What's the point of investigating something that you can't prosecute on? So that's my viewpoint, rightly or wrongly. That's my viewpoint. How can you prosecute something what's the point of investigating something that you can't prosecute or find guilty? Cameron, UEFA 0, City 1. Yeah, we were playing away as well, guys. 6-0 says QC David Panic. I'm not sure. We can stop 5-0. We've beaten Newcastle 5-0. We beat Brighton 5-0, I think, since we come back. So some big scores there. And I think, look, if we score early, I think we can hammer them. Absolutely, Ikram. We've got some European success behind us now. That's the thing, Ikram. Okay, so he was saying, he was laughing, saying City are cheats, City have failed, and all sorts of stuff. And then right at the end, he says, "Well, I'm not sure because I haven't read the verdict." Well, why don't you read more into the verdict, read the stuff, and then talk rather than what's the right word? Slanderous stuff? Because the stuff he said, even with an apology, you can still be, what you can't do is say stuff and then hide behind an apology. You can't simply hide behind an apology. An apology could be part of what you used to. Sure, they could chase. They're not going to waste their time on small fry like Terry. But if they wanted to chase him, they said, "Look, you said all that stuff for 15 minutes. That's against our, bad for our character and everything else. So you said it, and then you issue an apology at the end. That's not sufficient." The thing is, Terry spent 15 or 20 minutes slagging City off, and he might have put a couple of caveats and a couple of small apologies in there, for misreading something. But at the end, he was still saying, "Oh, why'd you get fined 10 million quid? You must have done something wrong and you got off," and basically insinuating that we'd got off. Why didn't he spend 20 minutes apologizing? It's always the way. Hi, video. Hope you're well, buddy. Stuff True Geordie, Umar Abdurrahman. I don't listen to True Geordie. I don't listen to Football Terrace, and I just saw it because Jason did this video of his and that's how I caught it. I don't listen to Stephen, even though Stephen was on that video. I watched the first 2 minutes of Jason's review of Stephen, and I found it boring. I was more into the moment of the live stream. I did it then, and I wasn't, going to do it afterwards and in the evening or something when I sit back and no, I wanted to be in that moment. And it's like, I'll give you an example, guys. It's like going to watch a game, yeah, seeing a goal and getting excited at that goal, being at the ground, being live, being there, okay, That's what my live stream was in the morning. You saw that. You know, even though I was pretty sure of the outcome, you know, when it came out, my legs were shaking. I was such a good feeling. So it's like that, watching a goal being scored, yeah, watching your team score a goal, as opposed to sitting at home watching it on TV or watching the highlights on Match of the Day. You know, it's you're away from the emotion, and some of the emotion you put out there is just made up. It's false. It's a pretense. Okay, you get the emotion. You know, when you see a goal being scored, you get the emotion when you do that live stream. You get it there and then. Right. Not when you watch it at home or when you watch it on Match of the Day. And it's a different sort of, you know, emotion, whether true or fake. And a lot of fake out there, guys. Fish is going for 3-0. Cameron Dempsey's going for 3-1. Well, if you think, guys, you're giving them a lot of credit. When City score first this season, 3-0 against Arsenal, 2-0 against Newcastle, 5-0 against Newcastle, 4-0 against Liverpool, 5-0 against Burnley, 5-0 against Brighton. When City don't score first, they lost. 1-0 at Southampton, 2-1 at Chelsea. So is it 5 or 6 games City have won when we score first, and it's been to 0. So I don't think Brighton will score if City score first. Absolutely, Matty Red. They'll get a boost, but they've been on such a dreadful run. And to have, I mean, no one would have expected them to get out of the predicament that they were in when they had Leicester and Man City to face. But they've done the first part, and you never know, but it's going to be extremely difficult away from home. Yeah, Ikram. But remember what I said about the time bar, okay? And as I said, I've not read the full details. But why would you investigate something that you could not punish? Why would you investigate that? It's like saying, you know, I'm not going to even bother to think of an analogy. Why would you investigate something if you couldn't prosecute and punish it? You just turn around and say, well, why are we wasting our time? The rules are this, yeah, you know, and it's, I don't know, it's eating, okay? And the camera says you're doing 35 and a 30. That's a matter of fact. And you can't go and argue that's something else, you know. And if you've got 3 years in which to look, okay, here's that speeding analogy. You get caught, even if you said you were guilty, you get caught doing 35 and a 30, and it's got to be prosecuted within 3 years, and they don't prosecute it within 3 years. And you want to argue that the camera was wrong or whatever. You can't then, after 4 years later, once it's time barred, go and investigate it. Why would you waste your time and effort and resource? It's time barred, so we won't even bother doing it because it's a waste of time. Miguel Dillon is all quite nice saying UEFA will up the ban, blah blah blah. Yeah, Cameron, if you haven't seen, if you go on my Twitter timeline, I put a couple of videos. I put like 3 videos yesterday. There's the Hitler one. I thought someone else would have done it. I did that Hitler one myself. I did one with the Spanish. I don't know if it's a Spanish guy or a Mexican guy. No, he's not a Spanish guy. South American, I think. But he's talking in Spanish. The laughter one, I did that one earlier in the day. I quite like that one. You know, just the way the guy laughs is great. And I got some very positive response. I had one journalist. I won't say who he is. I had a journalist contact me. He was absolutely in tears, laughing his head off with some of the stuff that was in that one. And even the Hitler one, even Duncan Castle said it was funny. And he had to have a dig as well, but he said it was funny. I bet he didn't know it was me. Yeah, I've seen that Pep selfie, Danny. Fantastic. Hi, GSG. Hope you're well. But it's everybody's got that. And if there's so many times over Twitter. Yeah, Danny, it's still good images. If you want it, you can use it. UEFA, it's not just UEFA, Chris, it's clubs as well, the other so-called elite clubs. You know, the fact that Man United, Arsenal, Spurs, Wolves and Chelsea and everybody was having a, you know, at the top 8, I think it was only at the time Sheffield United weren't party to, I think it's the ones on City's side were probably Everton or was it West Ham and Sheffield United. So everybody else was against us. When we win, we smack them, cram. And actually, we beat Arsenal 3-0, and they've been the luckiest. Cameron, do you think City will spend big? No. I mean, it's not going to make any difference what City will spend, Cameron. What we want to spend, we will spend. And if there's a relaxation, like they say, of FFP this summer, because of what's happened with COVID-19 and clubs have a problem with income, that might loosen our purse strings a little bit. But I think City want to live without me. Will we spend money? I'm pretty sure we'll spend money. I'm pretty sure we'll try and recoup a little bit of money. I think we'll try and get rid of Angelina for 15 or 20 million quid. I think that might happen. I think Stones Otamendi, let's say we can get Stones for about 40 million. I'm not looking at these in terms of this is what we'll spend, but it's nice to get some money in. And actually, for financial fair play purposes, if we can sell Angelina for 15 million quid, we'll make about 10 million profit for financial fair play purposes. If we can sell Stones for about 40 million, I reckon on Stones, we might make something like a 25 million pound profit in accounting terms, not actual money, but in 25, maybe even 30 million accounting terms. So selling Stones and Angelina might get us somewhere in the region of 40 million quid in terms of accounting profit. That sorts out our FFP issues for this year. I think that's what City need to do. That sorts our issues out. So the money we spend is the money we spend. If we want to spend 200, I've always said if we want to spend 200 or 300 million, we can. The money we get in from Puma, that's going to make a huge difference. Obviously, going forwards, if there's no return to football in terms of fans, then it's going to be the extra money we get from Puma is going to be negated against the money we lose from not having fans at games. But it'll even itself out. I'm pretty confident we will get a new centre back. I'm pretty confident we'll seriously try and get a left back. I'm pretty confident we'll try and get a striker, or an attacking midfielder, or a winger. I'm sure we'll get 3 good players. There's a lot of talk about Ferran Torres, a Spanish kid, 20 years old, right winger. He's played 3 seasons for Valencia already, 67 games and 6 goals. If we got Koulibaly, here's a what if. If we get Koulibaly for 70 million euros, okay. If we get David Alaba for 40 million euros, that's about 110. If we get this kid for about 40 million euros, Ferran Torres, that's 150 million euros. And I think we'd be really, really, really happy with that business. Really happy with that business. And we might get another striker. I don't know who that would be. But if we spent somewhere in the region of 150 million euros, 150 million quid on Koulibaly, on Alaba, and Ferran Torres, I think most people would be quite satisfied with our summer business. Koulibaly immediately advances our team. Immediately. Okay? Ferran Torres, he's not a first team player, for sure. Okay? And that's what you need. So he'll be a squad player to start with. But that's a start. And David Alaba would be a first team player. So we'd have 2 new first team players, and I think that's crucially important. If we can also get someone like Ismail Benassa for about 50 million euros, then we've got a box-to-box midfielder, another one who can play as a DM. Okay, and I think you'd be absolutely chuffed. And is he better than Rodri? Not so sure. Okay, they do different roles, but Ismail Benassa is still young enough to go forwards. What if we push the boat out and got that fella from Brentford, Barami? He can play in the Premier League, no problem. He scores some incredible goals, and I don't think he'd be over. I think you'd get him for 30 million. So we could spend somewhere around 220, 220, 230 million euros, and get 5 new players. There are issues about homegrown, for instance. If Otamendi goes, that clears up a homegrown space. Okay, that would be taken by Koulibaly. Okay. Obviously, David Silva's gone. Let's replace him by... I'm just giving him some thoughts. Replace him by Benassa in terms of non-homegrown. Obviously, Leroy Sané's gone. Ferran Torres is 20, so he's not an issue this season because you have to be at least 21, so we don't worry about him. and we've got David Alaba, so that contras that out. So that's 4 of the 5 players that I was talking about. See, you know, I think that's a pretty. We've got 4. What did I say? If we get Ferran Torres, Koulibaly, David Alaba, and this kid Ismail Benasser, then I think we sorted. You know, yes, I'd like another striker, but maybe we can go without it. Well, Ikram, we don't know. You know, as I said, they're not going to go and look at it if they say there's no point. If you were guilty, it's time bad. If you're not guilty, it's time bad. What's the point of wasting time to prove whether you're guilty or not when it's time bad? Cameron, yeah, I think there'll be some dodgy decisions. Everybody's expecting that. And there's no way you can say that UEFA hasn't had a history of dodgy decisions in European competitions. Salam Manasseh Abdul Haq, Weshrak. The 3 games left. It's gone very quickly. They'll come back in September, so before you know it. Bournemouth is tomorrow, Manasseh. Today we're just reviewing Pep Guardiola's press conference. Normally he does a press if we've got a game of the weekend, and if we've got a game in the middle of the week, like we have tomorrow, he does it the day before. So we're reviewing what he says. Normally he will talk a little bit about injuries, about the opposition team, about our team, but most of this it's just been about FFP and the Court of Arbitration for Sport and City not being banned from the Champions League. Ikram, Alaba would be a fantastic addition. And Chris, the thing is, Alaba's not signed his new contract. She's got 1 year left. You'd have thought if he was so loyal, he'd have signed an extension last year when he had 2 years left. So he's not signed it. So, and I think their philosophy is if he's not going to sign it, we won't get rid of him now. It's Epic Moondragon. I'm not sure if we'll win, but I think we'll give it a good shot. And Alfonso Davis is coming through, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I said. Centre back, Koulibaly. Left back, David Alaba. Left wing, which is our attacker. That can be Ferran Torres. And a box-to-box midfielder. That can be Ismail Benasser. How will we get on against Real Madrid? Well, as long as we get through the tie, you know, the good thing is we'll be fit and informed. You know, our guys are getting fitter. If we get past Arsenal, our last game before the Champions League, it will be on the 1st of August, I think, the FA Cup final. 6 days later is the Champions League game against Real Madrid. We'll be in form and fit and match fit. Who do I think will start tomorrow? I'm not sure. I mean, I'll think about that tonight. I mean, but we'll think about it. Happened to my thing. I think there'll be a few kids in my starting 11. Merlin Spa, how you doing, buddy? Do we need another striker? I would like another striker. I don't think we're going to get one, but because look at Aguero's age. But if we can get that left winger in Ferran Torres, and maybe use Cole Palmer, maybe use Braff as wingers, come strikers. I mean, we've tried Sterling up top, I think, a couple of times this season. Recently, when we've taken Gabi Jesus off after about 60 minutes. So we're mixing it up to see what different ideas could work. Guys, just going to say before I leave, if you're new to the channel, please, if you can subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come up. Give us a thumbs up as well. I'll tell you a funny thing as I finish, Chris. Yesterday, I did that live stream I did yesterday. We had 90% likes. And the funny thing is, normally, if I do a live stream in the evening, okay, if we do a live stream in the evening, we get hammered. We get hammered by a certain person or certain people coming on quickly. Okay, it's like now. Okay, I look at now, and we've done this. We've got 7 dislikes. Very quickly, we've got 7 dislikes, and we're doing an afternoon video. who's around doing nothing at this time of the day to give 7 dislikes? Obviously, we got more likes than dislikes. We got 7 yesterday. Doing that live stream, I think we got 7 dislikes as well in the near 1 hour we were on, but it wasn't a lot. It's not like some other videos which are regularly getting 15 to 20, just over 20 dislikes. And the funny thing was, Chris, I know there's somebody else was doing a live stream at the same time. I found out later. Don't you think incidents that somebody else was doing a live stream and we didn't get battered with negativity? That cast verdict, we've got 68 likes on that cast verdict. When I did yesterday, 68 likes. So they know they were wasting their time. But it is so interesting when you look at the number of dislikes that come through and at what times they come through. So yesterday, doing the live stream, nothing. There was hardly any dislikes during the live stream while somebody else was doing a live stream. I just say that at the end because it's such a coincidence. I don't think. It is very childish, Merlin Spa, and it's been going on for over 1 year. And I tell you that really funny one. As I finish, I'm gonna throw this out there again. On the 24th of June, I did this video. There was nothing specific to talk about. If there's something specific to talk about, when I do a live stream, I'll put something in a topic, whatever we're going to talk about. There was nothing to talk about that day, so I was just answering questions. So I put Man City News Update 24th of June. By the 26th of June, no one's interested in that video anymore because it's all news. And there was nothing to talk about. There's no headline. But suddenly, in the space of 5 minutes, I had 14 views on that video 2 days later. And they were all down ticks. And the rest of the hour, nothing. Just in those 5 minutes, 14 views and 14 down ticks. Wonder what happened there. That's how childish it is. And I mention it again and again because I think if I do mention it, eventually that will shame somebody into stop doing this. And I think they do need to be shamed, and people need to be reminded of how childish they are. Thanks, GSG. This is it. You guys support me. Well, you guys, we're creeping up 1900. As I said, it's been a fantastic few weeks. I'm just looking at my data, 337 new subscribers in the last 28 days. Absolutely fantastic. And you guys who've been supporting me since we started, it's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic of you guys to support me. And I really, really do appreciate it. Right, guys, I think that's my lot. I'm just going to say goodbyes to Merlin Spark, GSGA, Mighty Reds, Chris Welch. What's that, Ikram? I don't know how these people benefit from doing it. I don't even hate them. Yeah, they need help. I don't hate them. I mention it because, you see, I've had people on the channel who've contributed to live streams or contributed to videos, and some people are sensitive. Yeah, more sensitive than me. Some people are sensitive, and if they put out a video and suddenly they find that it's 10 upticks, okay? If they get 10 upticks and 20 downticks, it actually puts people off. I know there's 1 or 2 people who have got put off from coming on the channel because they're sensitive to the negativity. And they feel it as like it's hate. They're sensitive to that hate because what's the reason? If you're doing a 2 or 3 minute video, what's the reason to talk about a game and you've not said anything controversial? It's all been positive because City have just smashed somebody. Why would you get so many downticks? And that's put 1 or 2 people off being regular contributors to the channel. And it's not fair on them. It's not fair on me. It's not fair on you guys. It's not fair on the channel. And you'd hope that these people would at some point have the shame, and stop being childish. But that's what it is. Do some reviews, JSG. I've asked you. You guys are all and you're all welcome. As long as I've always said, as long as people are civil, you're all welcome to come on the channel. Cheers, Merlin Spa. I will stick with it, Harry. Take care, Chris. See you, Ikram. It'll be between 8 and 9, Ikram. Okay, I'm trying to do an 8 o'clock stream tonight. because it's a bit more light. I want to be outside. I like it. I like being outside. We spent so much time in the last 3 or 4 months indoors. You know, when you get a chance to be out, you've got to take it. And when we go back to England, the weather's not great up in Manchester. I might as well enjoy the weather in Paris whilst I can. Liban, they might have been in some rent free and all those rival fans. Absolutely, Liban. Go and watch. If you haven't checked my streams, I've stuck a video on here about. I apologize for the quality of the video, but I've done a couple of these meme type videos. So go and check them out. I've done the Hitler one. My YouTube, sorry, my Twitter handle, my Twitter feed. There's a lot of stuff there. Cheers, Chris. Cheers, Liban. Yeah, absolutely, GSG. I won't. Sorry, Liban. I'm using the hotspot. I'm using the hotspot, guys, because I want to be out. I want to be out in the sunshine. I want to be enjoying it. If I had my studio like back at home, then I'd be doing it in my studio, and I'm happy there. But when I'm away from home, I want a little bit of lovely surroundings. Guys, take care. I'll see you later. Between 8 and 9, I'll let you know. See you around, Blues.